There is not a nigga on this earth prepared for the idiocy, the dumbassery, and the unpredictableness that is college roommate. So I just finished my first year of college, and one word I used to describe my college experience was okay, I guess. So I flew from Texas to California for college. Main reason being so I could experience college in a whole new environment, see new scenery, see new people, and see a whole bunch of new things. Like some bad you feel what I'm saying? All my hopes, my dreams, and my expectations were set on fire, thrown off a cliff, and then crushed in the process as soon as I opened the door to my apartment. Nigga, this apartment was atrocious. Like, our living room looked like a Call of Duty map and a trap house just mixed up in one. Everything in the fridge had something growing on it, towers of plates and trash bags all in the kitchen, and a good amount of bags filled up with magic on the couch. In that moment, all I could think was, wow, I'm about to be living here for 8 whole months. But the funniest thing is, the condition of my apartment was the least of my problems. Cause what actually made my college experience so hateable were my roommates. And our apartment wasn't that big, cause 2 people had to share one room, meaning I really couldn't avoid them. Also meaning privacy, non-existent. So the first roommate I'll talk about is Treese. Honestly, I don't really have any problems with him, except for one. You know, one little small smudgy issue. This nigga likes to steal and wear my clothes. He steals my jackets, my shorts, my sweatpants, and what makes it worse is the doesn't even fit this nigga. He's like 6'9", I'm like 6'4", so it's all squeezed up on his body and it looked like a crop top. And when I get the clothes back, it doesn't even smell like me. And nothing is worse than having clothes that doesn't even smell like you. He also takes up all the space in the fridge with these random black boxes filled with vegetables that he never eats because they always end up going bad before he makes time to eat it. Bullshit. We both know he's not eating those random vegetables. So when I ask if he can throw it away to make some more space in the fridge, he says no, he's gonna eat it. Then when it finally expires, because he's a liar, he throws it away. And then he buys more. And then the vicious cycle just keeps on continuing. Okay, so my second roommate's name was Mal. He was the first person to move into the apartments, meaning he was the one that left the living room looking like the Call of Duty map. But unlike Treese, Mal didn't take up space in the fridge. He emptied it because this nigga used to just eat up everyone's food with no remorse. Like, I had to get used to drinking warm Arizonas, warm water, warm soda, because I knew if I put it in the fridge, he was gonna take it. And what made it worse was this nigga had no honor. You can have hard, solid, stone cold evidence that he took your food, and he'll just say, nah, you tripping. I didn't eat it. Nigga, what? I have your thumbprint, your shoe print, DNA that you left at the crime scene, HD video quality of you stealing my juice. What do you have to say? That's not me. In all my years of living, I never would have thought I could get that mad over juice. Oh yeah, he also walked around the house naked. Like, there is no transition that is well enough to switch from that topic to this topic, so we're just gonna get right into it. No towel, no underwear, just bare booty, butt naked. And his reason was always, bro, we're family. The f does that mean? But eventually he stopped, probably because he realized no one else is walking around the house naked like he was. So my third roommate's name was David, and he was the one that I shared my room with, and honestly, he was actually pretty cool, like probably my favorite roommate. His only one problem was his girlfriend. Holy fuck, he used to argue with this girl from sundown to sun up. It got to a point where I felt like I was part of the relationship. Like, I was feeling the relationship stress. And when I tell you, the arguments would come out of nowhere, like literally just thin air. Like, one moment they're on FaceTime watching movies together, and then boom, next moment they're arguing with each other, threatening to break up and then burn each other's house down. And like, do you understand how awkward that is? Like, most of the time I just try to sit there and act like I can't hear what they're talking about, or I just put my headphones in. Like, there was this one time, it was 5 a.m. I was asleep, and then Dave was asleep on the phone with his girl, because you know, that's what couples do, duh. And then almost out of nowhere, she just starts yelling his name and making an absurd amount of noise. Like, I am not a light sleeper. Like, I can sleep through damn near anything. So the fact that this woke me up means she was trying to make noise. So David wakes up and asks her what's going on. This girl has the audacity to ask, did I wake you up? Nigga, obviously. And no, you didn't wake him up, you woke us up. So what's the problem? Then she asks, do you love me? Now I'm irritated, because why did you pick out of all time 5 a.m. to ask that question? You could ask that question throughout any time of the day, but you chose 5 a.m. But I'm like, it's whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna go back to sleep. Then the conversation goes from, do you love me? To, well, if you love me, then why don't you? Full-blown argument just out of nowhere. Again, it is 5 a.m. Niggas are trying to sleep. And I ended up getting no sleep because this argument lasted 3 hours, bro. I'm not even joking. All right, so this next roommate who we'll call Ty is 100% the weirdest nigga I have ever met. He is in love with the rapper Sofego, but that's not really a problem if he didn't blast the same Sofego song every day, the exact same song for the past 8 months. It got to the point where everyone in the apartment knew the lyrics. It didn't matter what time it was. That Sofego, The World Is Yours song played constantly. 8 a.m. How do these things go ahead? Cause they don't wanna come to my place. 7 p.m. So the world is yours cause I wanna play every day. 5 a.m. We just play the game. We just play the same game. All day. But it is what it was. But it is what it is. They wanna take everything that I love. The Sofego addiction isn't even the worst part. This nigga also refuses to pay rent. Literally the bare minimum of living with roommate. And every time we get on him about rent, he just grabs an excuse from La La Land. Yo, Ty, what's up? We're off to go down and pay rent if you're trying to come with us. What's up, man? What's up, man? Rent? Don't worry about me, man. I got my own little sister, man. You feel me, man? Bro, I got it, man. Man, I got it. I'm not even joking for the YouTube video. That is literally word for word what he would say to me. Oh yeah, he also peed in water bottles and left them by the window. Cheating is wrong if you get caught. Like, come on, let's be real for a second. School basically sets us up to cheat. For starters, you have to wake up at what the o'clock. Then you have to put on a fit that's not because you don't want to get roasted. But then also, you can't put on a fit too try hard because you don't want to get roasted. Then you have to pick your tired up and go to school. And Jesus Christ, if you have to take the bus, my condolences and may God be with you. Because public transportation is damn near hell on earth. Then you have to go to school and walk amongst these animals known as other students. Like any nigga that can wake up at 6 a.m. and have the energy to talk and wanna fight you deserves to be in prison. Actually, that death row, cause nigga, we don't need you here. Then you get to class, and nigga, that's when the real bullshit starts. Cause for some reason, we have a random test today. And guess what? My ass didn't study for that test. So when I get that paper and attempt to read that first question, I realize I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like, have you ever took a test and just kept reading the questions over and over again, hoping that'll just magically eventually make sense? And it never did. Okay, class, here's the test. Make sure everyone reads very carefully. Alright, okay, let's see this test. Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. How do you solve for world hunger? Nigga, this shit don't make no sense. 2 plus 2 is 4. How do you solve for what? Yep, I'm failing this shit. Like, I used to really hate tests until I learned the art of cheating. And once I started cheating, I never looked back. It became a lifestyle, a reason to wake up in the morning. Now, I'm not telling you to cheat because that would be wrong. But all I'm gonna say is, it worked for me, nigga. I was a master at cheating. From sneaking pictures of the answer key to use on the test the next day, to looking over my shoulder to the smarter kids next to me. No matter the situation, I had a plan until my senior year. So during this year, I had a teacher who we'll call Mr. Pigeon that taught the economics class. By far the hardest class I've ever taken in my life. The questions made no sense. The answers to the questions made no sense. And the study guide may as well have been the test because that made no sense. So now I'm struggling my ass off because all I know is cheat. I haven't done work for myself in so long. Like on every quiz or test we took, I either got a 70, which was pure luck, or I got a number so low you think I went in that test planning to fail. But Mr. Pigeon had one rule, and it was whatever grade you get on the test also replaces your lowest grade. So if you had a 17 on a quiz and got 100 on the test, that 17 turns into 100. When that nigga told us that, I almost cried because I had a fat 0 from our last quiz. And the worst part is, I didn't even cheat. So I just got every single problem wrong. And that 0 had my class average looking depressed. But if I passed this test, everything could change. So you already know what type of timing I'm on. I'm finna cheat. So I knew I had no chance at passing the test on my own. And I also knew that trying to study was just a joke at this point. So I came up with a plan that was guaranteed going to get me a 100% on this test. So on test days, Mr. Pigeon used to always make us use the school laptops to take our test, which was perfect because my plan was to use my laptop as cover so I can hide my phone behind it while I search up every single question on the phone, guaranteeing me an easy 100. And I already know what you're saying. Paradise, you are a genius. So fast forward to the day of the test and I walked to that classroom with the biggest grin on my face like, nigga, I'm about to pass this and ain't you can do to stop me, nigga. The confidence was high because my plan was foolproof. So I open my laptop and start taking the test, and immediately I realized just how hard this is about to be. This test had 50 questions, and again, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, meaning I have to search up every single one of these questions before time runs out. So I start getting into my bag, like I'm working like clockwork. I am burning through this test. Like, nigga, I was so focused, tunnel vision. Nothing was gonna stop me, and I'll never forget this moment. I got to question number 32, and I just see this pale white hand come down and slap my computer shut. I look up and I see Mr. Bird just staring at me. His face is all red and he looks like he wants to call me a nigga. He picks up my phone and as clear as day, he can see exactly what I've been searching up. Mr. Bird is still looking at me and in a cold, disappointed voice, he says, "You're getting a 0. A 0? A zero? Remember, I already have a 0 and I don't think you understand just how bad a 0 is. Like getting 100 and a 0 are two completely different things. Like when you get 100, it can boost your grade maybe 2-3 points, but a 0 will take your grade and absolutely grill it to the point of no return. Like not even extra credit will save your ass, nigga. And that 0 destroyed my average so bad that the school counselor told me I should drop the class because it seemed too difficult for me. Nigga, I dropped that and never looked back. High school is a war zone. Like, take a soft, warm, caring, loving daycare, then take prison, sprinkle some World War II on that bitch, and bam, you have my high school experience. Like, during high school, it seemed like no matter what you did, it was lame as f. Like, unless you were rich, D1, or everyone in the school found you insanely attractive, everything you did was deemed lame, unattractive, and weird. Huh? What's that? You're telling me you found the cure to every disease known to mankind? Okay, nigga, whatever. You're still ugly and you can't hoop. F out of here. And since during my freshman year, I wasn't any of those things, I had a huge target on my back. Except for basketball. I could hoop. That was the one thing I could do. But it didn't matter because these niggas grilled me for everything else I did. Niggas grilled me for the way I talked, the way I walked, what I ate at lunch, my handwriting. Niggas even grilled me for being black. And the worst part is, it was black people grilling me for being black. And these niggas were creative, and nothing is worse than a creative nigga grilling you. These niggas will call me Mr. Popo from DBZ, Midnight, The Darkest Night, and whoever this nigga is. It took me a while to find the picture, but this nigga sums up what my definition of getting roasted in high school was. Like for some people, it's their broken glasses, or their beat up shoes, or their bad clothes, but this nigga haunts me to this day for the amount of times niggas got on my for looking like him. And what made it even worse was that I couldn't dress. Like my fashion choices during my freshman year is honestly concerning. But the reason for that was because during middle school, it didn't matter how busted up your fit was, because if you had on good shoes, no one said anything. Like you can wear a full clown costume from the head to your toes. But if you had some Jordans on, nigga, no one's gonna tell you nothing. But that was not the case at all in high school, because when I showed up with my no brand ass collared church shirt, my faded blue jean shorts, my long black elite socks, and my hyper green KD6 Easters, niggas grilled the ever living life out of my ass. So bad to the point where I went home and I swore to God I will never put that fit on ever again. Like I probably would have gotten roasted less if I showed up to school naked, because at least there's less material for these niggas to work with. The last thing that I'll never forget about high school was pantsing. Niggas would actually go behind random people, pull their pants down, and reveal their underwear to the world. And I would know, because I was niggas, bro. That shit was too funny, bro. But I was only doing it to my friends. I wasn't doing it to random people. Like I wasn't trying to get my ass beat in the middle of the school. And honestly, it was a good time. Like everyone was involved. We were all running around pantsing each other. It sounds crazy, but honestly, this was a very fun part of high school. But you know the saying, all good things must come to an end. And it ended because of a lame ass nigga named Alex. So on this day, our school was having a pep rally. Basically, it's where they gather all the kids, put them in the gym to introduce the football players or the soccer players, or a special guest comes and sings, dances, or whatever. All you need to know is a lot of people in one area. So honestly, you know, just like the perfect place to get your life ruined, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, the pep rally's going on and everyone's having a good time. Me and my friends were all chilling, we're laughing, right? And I don't remember what happened. I think a cheerleader did a backflip or something, but all I remember was everyone stood up and we all got super hyped. That's when this bum ass nigga Alex decided to take it upon himself to run up behind me and yank my shorts down. And I've been pants before, so I knew how it felt, but this time it felt different. The cold air hit my salted nuts. Now I don't know if this nigga Alex had like gorilla grip hands or something.
Pause.
But this nigga grabbed my shorts and my underwear all in one go. I was exposed to everyone. My Jimmy was out at a pep rally in the gym. I'm not gonna gas it and say everyone saw it, but enough people saw it for niggas to be on my ass for the rest of the school year. High school, man. I don't know about you guys, but my sleep schedule does not make sense anymore. I'm on 0% all day, but when I try to go to sleep at night, I need the 7 Dragon Balls to wish for it? Like for me to go to sleep at a reasonable time, I need to channel all my energy near reach avatar state, and that still wasn't enough. Like I would start dozing off and then my body would just go, hey man, I know you have school tomorrow, but I just want you to know, I don't f*** you. So I'm gonna stay up till 5 AM just to ruin your day. Why would you do that? you, man. So I wake up the next day running on 2 hours of sleep, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a cup of water, and bad breath. And when you get to school, it gets worse because some of these teachers have the most boring voices that just knock you out on impact. And some other teachers have the audacity to dim the lights. Like, miss, you know damn well your class is boring as shit. Like, you're just setting me up for failure doing this. Like this one time, I had a test for my pre-cal class, and I was already taking this test off 2 brain cells, a Pop-Tart, and no shower because the night before I was doing something important. So I was really giving it my all to stay awake, but then my teacher decides to dim the lights and play classical music. It helps me grade papers better. That doesn't make any sense, right? How does a dark room help you grade papers? Don't you have to see to grade? But I'll tell you what, as soon as she dimmed those lights, I was gone, straight to the shadow room. Honestly, I don't understand how I fell asleep so fast in school, especially when they have us in these bad builds, origami, Autobots, roll out, built desk. Like, there's no reason I should be knocking out that fast in these chairs. Trying to stay awake at work is just as bad, especially if you're working a customer service type of job. You be sitting there trying to hate your life in peace, and then a lady walks in and has the audacity to ask you, "May I please place an order?" Yeah, nigga, get your phone and do it online and get out my face. But nothing's worse than when a customer tries to make small talk with you. They'd be like, "Hey, this is my first time here. So what do you recommend?" "I recommend you get the f away from my cash register." The patty melt's my favorite, so that's what I would recommend." "Okay, I'll have the sweet and spicy bacon cheeseburger." How are you gonna ask for my opinion and waste my time like that? Please escort yourself from the premises. That's how I felt every day going into work on 2 hours of sleep. So this one time, I was in elementary school and I was getting on my bus that was supposed to take me home. And when I sat down, it was like the bus was filled with knockout gas because my eyelids started feeling like 8-ton bricks. And before I could even think of anything to do, I blinked once and I was knocked out, like ascending the shadow realms, no response. When I woke back up, the bus was empty, deserted. There was no kids in sight, so I immediately started losing my mind. And when the bus driver saw me, instead of trying to reassure me like, "Hey little man, everything's gonna be okay," he starts going off on me. But since I only had one functioning brain cell, I couldn't understand shit he was saying, but I knew he was mad because his face was all red and he had veins popping out of his neck. After he finishes yelling 15 years of his lifespan at me, he takes me home. You wanna know the worst part about this story? My siblings ride the bus with me, and they didn't even try to wake me up. They just saw me knocked out and said, "Nah, he'll find his way home." And when I finally made it back home, they acted like nothing happened, like they didn't just strand me on that bus. So we can all agree that nothing's better than getting your first phone. Like, that is a big deal. As soon as you get it off the bat, you start downloading games. Clash of Clans, Fruit Ninja, Temple Run. Nostalgic. But if your childhood was anything like mine, having a phone was just a dream until your freshman year of high school. And obviously, that was a hand-me-down. And my God, this phone was like literally just a phone. Like, this battery would go from 1% to 100%, back to 1%, and it just die at the worst times. So because of this, I was always hogging the charging outlet. But if I couldn't do that, I would go in the back and steal people's portable chargers just so I can charge my phone enough to get back on Clash of Clans. Like, no joke, I was really dedicated to this broken phone lifestyle. And honestly, if I was ever in any real danger, that phone wouldn't do shit for me because it would probably die before I could even type in 911. Even though this phone had a wide variety of problems, I was still optimistic when I first got it because, again, it was my first phone. Like, when I first got it, I downloaded every single app in the App Store. I flicked up, took a couple pictures, and then I got me a nice little SpongeBob wallpaper. Remember that because it's very important to the story. So fast forward, and I'm walking around school feeling like King Henry III, top of the food chain. No one is touching me. Like, I was getting everyone's numbers, even the bad bitches. I'm lying, I don't get girls. So fast forward some more, and I'm going to my 5th class of the day, which is PE. So I get to PE, change into my PE clothes, and then I put my phone under my backpack. Let me explain. So my high school used to have a big issue with people's stuff getting stolen out their bags during classes. So I thought instead of putting my phone in my bag, I would put it under, so the chances of my phone getting stolen should be low. F***ing genius. So fast forward some more and PE class comes to an end. So I walk back to the locker room to change, and immediately when I open the door, I see my backpack is on the floor 3 feet from where I even left it. It was like this nigga knew where I put the phone. I run to my backpack and look all around the area, but I couldn't find it. In that moment, I realized that someone took my phone. I don't think you'll understand how I was. This was literally the first day of me getting this new phone. The first day, and I lost it. The chances of my parents getting me a new phone is damn near 0%. Meaning I was probably gonna be phoneless until I saved up enough money to buy it myself, which meant never, nigga. I didn't have a job. But even though my phone was stolen without a trace, there was still someone I was very suspicious of, Jamal. This nigga was a 10 out of 10 menace, but also a well-known phone thief. So in my desperation, I had to ask if he knew where it was. Instant regret. Because as soon as Jamal starts starts feeling like I'm accusing him of being a phone thief, he starts tweaking. Hey Jamal, so my phone went missing and so? Nigga what, you think I took it? Nigga shut the f up and get up on my face, nigga. Ain't no one want your busted ass phone, boy. Just for visuals, let me paint you a picture of what Jamal looks like. Jamal was a 6'5", dark-skinned, built football player. Nigga was built like a tank, meaning I wasn't gonna tell that nigga what's the point of me letting this nigga steal my phone and whoop my ass on the same day? So that was it. I was gonna go my whole life with just no phone, I guess. And to top it all off, I still have to explain to my dad how I lost my phone when I just got it. And that conversation went terribly. Hey dad, like you know how you just got me a new phone, right? So I brought it to school and you wouldn't believe it, a guy stole it. Isn't that like funny? Oh, is that right? So after my dad confirms that I'm not getting a phone until I'm married, I decide that I'm gonna find my phone by any means necessary. So the next day I go to school and honestly, I don't even remember if I went to any of my classes. I had bigger shit to deal with. So I searched and looked everywhere, but my phone just wasn't coming up. So eventually I gave up and I was gonna have to accept the fact that I was gonna be labeled a lame ass nigga for the rest of my high school life. So I go to lunch sad, depressed, defeated, and hungry. But then I see this kid who we'll call Carter holding a phone that looks almost identical to the one that I just lost. So I put down my chicken sandwich, I walk up to Carter, and I proceed to interrogate this nigga. Yo, Carter, where'd you get that phone from? It looks nice. Oh, thanks. Well, actually, I bought it. This nigga must think I'm stupid. Oh, for real? Well, where'd you get it from? Well, Jamal actually sold it to me for $50. As soon as those words left Carter's mouth, everything started making sense. That dusty ass nigga Jamal stole my phone. And to make it worse, he sold it for $50. The disrespect. But what solidified my theory was when Carter turned on the phone and my SpongeBob wallpaper was still on there. This nigga Jamal didn't even reset the phone. So unprofessional. If you're gonna finesse a nigga, at least do it right. I don't know about y'all geniuses, but in middle school, I can guarantee you I had the worst grades in the solar system. Like, no matter how hard I studied or cheated, I cannot pass a test to save my life. Like, after every test, I would get on my hands and knees and pray to God I get a C. Cause I knew damn well asking for a B was way too much, especially for my struggling. And an A? Nigga, get serious. So after failing countless tests, my parents started noticing. And if you know anything about foreign parents, it's that they don't play that CCC minus C plus bullshit. You're either valedictorian or you're homeless. Doctors, lawyers, and the president are your only career path. So what do you think my parents did when they saw my atrocious grades? They beat my ass. And like, what's the point in that? Whooping my ass isn't gonna make me Albert Einstein, nigga. But I figured the best way to revive my grades would be to get some help from my friends. Terrible decision. Cause my friends are either as dumb or astronomically dumber than me. So I was really left with one final option, which was go to after school tutorials. And if you don't know what that is, it's when 8 hours of school isn't enough for my incompetent ass to soak up the knowledge required for me to pass, so I stay after school to learn some more, hoping it does something for my atrocious grades, which it probably won't, because any nigga with a 13 in history class deserves to be in prison. No parole, no bond, no sunlight. Damn. So when I walk into the class, almost instantly I think, okay, wait, maybe jail's not that bad, because the teacher that was in charge of this tutorials class was a psychotic history teacher that goes by the name Mrs. Apples. And I personally never had a bad experience with her, but I heard she'd make fun of kids for failing, yell for no reason, and oh yeah, she would hit kids. Not play fighting, not light taps, she was full-blown hitting niggas. Meaning I was DONE done for, because I am by far the easiest target in this classroom. Nigga, I had a 13 in history class, a 13. Multiply my grade by 5, and I am still failing. So I go through 3 days of just constant verbal abuse from this woman. It didn't matter what I did, good or bad, she was on my ass. I remember walking into classes one time and she saw me and she went, "Hey, I didn't see you come in. Go ahead and have a seat in the front, James Harden." The audacity of this woman. She is so lucky she's a teacher, or I would pick up this pencil sharpener and just throw it at her head. For the people that don't know, this is James Harden. And do you see anything that resembles the video at all, or just catches your eye? Are you talking about the I'm talking about the 13. This grown woman was making jokes about my grade. Like, what kind of teacher does that? But nothing that I've said right now even compares to what she did on the 4th day. So the 4th day I go to tutorials, and at this point I've lost every ounce of hope in trying to revive my poor grades. Like, my 13 maybe leveled up to a 16, so I was really just going to tutorials just to hang out. Because at this point I made a bunch of friends during my time there. The main friend I'm talking about, who's also very important to the story, goes by the name Jake. Miss Apples hated this nigga just as much as she hated me. And since me and Jake both had unsavable grades, we spent the whole entire tutorials just laughing and talking. And once Miss Apples realizes we're having fun, she starts losing it. Can you you shut up? Why are you talking? Maybe if you two spent more time doing your work, you wouldn't be older than y'all's grades. She says that and then sits right back down like nothing even happened. Me and Jake look at each other and we both agree that we're not gonna sit here and just take that. So we go right back to laughing and right back to talking, but this time way more obnoxious just so we can get her attention. And it works because Miss Apples explodes. What is wrong with you kids this day and age? All y'all do is laugh like everything is funny. Like life is all just shit and giggles. Miss Apples is going off on us, but me and Jake are too busy fighting for our lives to hold in this laugh. Then she goes, oh, something's funny? Okay. On God, Miss Apple looks at us menacingly, looks at her chair, picks it up, and just leans back and throws it at us. This chair is coming at us full speed. Instantly, me and Jake stop laughing and start panicking. The chair collides with our desk and makes a loud boom sound. Now Miss Apple's just sitting there looking at us with the crazy in her eye, and she sits down and just says, leave my classroom. Me and Jake look at each other and get the fuck out of there because we knew we were 3 chuckles away from Miss Apple's pulling out an AK-47 and lighting our asses up. So one summer, my basketball coach wanted me and the rest of the team to go hiking for some team bonding so we can improve our chemistry, thus improving our basketball skills on the court as a team, which didn't work. Like, we got obliterated every single game. Like, my parents stopped bothering even coming to the games. Like, all they would do is call me and be like, hey babe, how much did you lose by? Because it was just that bad. So fast forward and we get to the trail / mountain that we're gonna be hiking on. And when I tell you we were in the middle of nowhere, it was like Courage the Cowardly Dog style nowhere. It was just one big mountain, a trail you walk on, and then a bunch of dust, those little tumbleweeds, and just a bunch of trees that we didn't know what was hiding behind them, but I guarantee you there was some type of monster in that mountain. Everyone was just sitting there terrified, like no one wanted to go up this mountain except for our coach. And one thing I'll say about my coach is that this man was a fucking lunatic. He was either 35 or 48, no kids, no wife. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just his reason. His reason was, I don't need no kids because I'm married and dedicated to y'all. Y'all are my wives. I love y'all boys. That is pretty fucking sad. But hey, do you, bro. Like, do you. So we all gathered up confused and scared because we didn't know if this was the last time we were gonna see each other. And then our coach finally starts talking, and the first thing that this nigga says is, all right fellas, welcome to the trail. We're in a very dangerous trail, but don't worry because I'm a very dangerous man. So if you see any coyotes or any other wildlife, stand still and call for me and I'll handle it. What the fuck is this nigga talking about? Stand still and call for him. He asked us to stand still and call. That coyote is going to kill us before he even gets there. And what is a 45-year-old man gonna do to a coyote? Nothing. So it makes no sense. And just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, he says, all right fellas, I know I said this was a team bonding trip, but it's a workout. Life isn't fair sometimes. You gotta understand, in life you gotta go with the flow. So you have 15 minutes to complete the full mountain trail. Oh yeah, this nigga is crazy. I'm not doing this. And if you think I'm joking and you wanna just BS the workout, you're gonna do it again tomorrow if you don't make the time. No ifs, ands, or buts. At this moment, I debated quitting basketball, a sport I played my whole life and enjoyed. I was ready to just take off my jersey, just straight rip it off my body, put it on the floor, and say, nigga, I'm going home, see you later. But I lock it and tell myself, I'm gonna finish this mountain workout. I'm not gonna let this nigga break me because I would rather swallow a fucking Lego than run this mountain twice. I'd rather eat ass than run this mountain twice. So our coach blows the whistle and we're off. So we're running up this mountain, and the more we're running up this mountain, the harder it gets to breathe, because when you run up a mountain, the altitude it's some shit, and then it gets hard to breathe. So we're running up and I can barely breathe, and I knew if I did not take a break, I was going to pass out on this concrete trail gravel floor and be dinner for the nearest coyote. Then I look and see one of my teammates, who we'll call Dave, looking like he's about to die. So he stops. So when he stops, I stop, and our coach looks back and sees us and immediately loses his mind. What the fuck are you doing? Get your ass up and finish the goddamn run. Do you want to be a prey or do you want to be a predator? Bro, what? Do I want to be a prey or a predator? Nigga, I want to go home. So I finally forced myself back up and I started trying to run, and instantly I started getting tired again. Like, I was not making it up this mountain. This mountain was tall and steep. My chances of making up this mountain were not that high. So at this point, I started accepting my fate. Like, maybe this is just how I die. Like, me being eaten by a coyote is just God's plan. And who am I to defy God's plans? Like I expected a team bonding trip, but this nigga got us out here doing the maze run. Like, this is Maze Runner. So I finally catch my breath and I look up and the whole team is gone. We're going to die. Now I'm getting paranoid because, like I said before, there's a lot of trees, meaning there's a bunch of hiding spots for something to just come out the trees and just eat me. Like, I was visibly fighting back tears because I really thought I was gonna die on this mountain. And then Dave says, oh, I see them. They're all the way up there. I look up and I can barely see my teammate. Like, they really ran this mountain on some like world record time. And the fact that they didn't even realize we were gone kinda hurt my feelings. So me and Dave start walking to the checkpoint, which is where the rest of the team was. We're both already mad because we already know our coach is gonna go Super Saiyan 15 yelling at at us about how we're not real men because we couldn't get up the mountain in under 15 minutes. And as we were just walking and talking, we start hearing it. We start hearing some bushes rustling, some sticks start breaking, and the sound starts getting more and more aggressive. And then we look at each other. We didn't see it, but we both knew there was some creature in that bush. A wolf, a coyote, nigga, Bigfoot, nigga. We're not Coyote Peterson. We're not gonna sit there and try and figure it out. I look at Dave, and we both take off. So we're running this trail, Need for Speed, Sonic Frontier style. And as we're running the trail, it starts getting more thin, like to the point where we're running on a tight rope. One side is just straight dirt wall, and the other side is a 3-foot drop into a bush of spikes. Like all it took was one gust of wind to hit Dave, for him to lose his balance, fall into that bush, and nigga, I was not gonna save him. Like there's no point in both of us dying. Like someone's gotta tell the tale. But if I'm being honest, I have no problem falling off this cliff into the bush of death than getting eaten by whatever was chasing us. Because the percent of survival is, you know, it's a little different. Like you'd rather like fall into a death bush or have to fight Bigfoot. So me and Dave are still pushing it and running this trail, and then we see a sharp turn, like a Victoria's Secret high-class model jawline sharp turn. Instantly, I start crying. Like I'm so scared at this point, but there's no time for tears. So I start running and I try to smoothly hit the turn, but then getting tripped, bro. Like I tripped, like I couldn't handle the pressure that was put onto me. So now I'm just tumbling down the trail, like I am legit picking up speed, and then boom, I go back first into a death bush. You remember that one Chucky movie where like Chucky had that guy tackle him to the ground and he was just stabbing him repeatedly in the back while the whole party was dancing? He was getting stabbed upstairs. That was how that bush was doing me, nigga. Like it hurt so bad, like I couldn't even move. I was just in the bush trying to breathe and make sure I was gonna be able to stay alive. I look at Dave for help and he's looking at me like, bro, that's a 3-feet drop with death bushes. And I'm looking at him like, nigga, help me. Stop being a pussy. He finally pulls me up and we get the fuck out of there. We finally get back to the checkpoint and everyone is passed out on the floor, drinking water or asleep or just all three. But me, I was traumatized. I wasn't gonna eat, sleep, nigga, I wasn't even gonna jerk off anytime soon, ever. Trauma 1, me 0. You know you'll have to run the trail again tomorrow, right? I was not running that trail, nigga. School rivalries, the best part of high school, bro. It's nothing better than talking to niggas you don't know over sports you don't even know the rules to. Golf, water polo, cricket, it didn't matter. That shit was going to be talked. And it's all fun and games until people start taking it too far. Two key aspects that are for sure to mess up a shit fucking session is ego and niggas. Like niggas will just ruin it. They'll make any little thing seem so big to the point where the only way you can get back is by throwing hands. So this story was during my sophomore year of high school, and our volleyball team had a game today, but it wasn't just an ordinary game. It was the biggest game of the year. It was against our rivals, and we took our rivalry serious, bro. Like we actually hated these niggas for no reason except for that they went to another school, and that was all the reason we really needed. And before I get more into the story, let me tell y'all something. I am a professional talker, one of the greats, one of the best, I'm not gonna lie to you. But can I back it up? No. So after convincing my overprotective mother to let me go, I walk into the gym and this it was packed. It looked like it was a Drake concert if all Drake's fans were black, because all I was seeing was a value pack, a share pack, a love pack of just niggas. Right there, I already knew a problem was going to happen, but I stayed because I wanted to watch the game. And as soon as the game started, shit talking was completely different. It was less about the game and more about personal things. People's mom, people's dad, their loved ones, and their girlfriends. The amount of things I heard about other people's girls made me want to never fall in love. So the game finally ends, and I'm not gonna lie, we smacked out those niggas, but that only made them more mad. So as we're walking outside of the gym to the parking lot, we see that every car in the student section had eggs and syrup poured on it. These niggas took the time to throw eggs and pour syrup on every car in the student section. And before we can even start chasing them, they were already in their car driving away. Now, for the sake of the story, I have to introduce Dre. This nigga was the Goku, the Gojo, the Hokage of our school. He played varsity for multiple sports, and since I've been at that school, I've never seen this nigga lose a fight. Just an all-around alpha nigga. And this nigga was heated that they egged and poured syrup all over his new Jaguar. So now our two schools are on Instagram Live going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then they airdrop the location. Instantly, everyone gets in their car and gets ready to fade the location for the 4th Great Nigga War. And of course, I hop in the car too because I want to be a witness to this event, but also I had no intention of fighting. Why? Because getting punched in the face hurts and I'm very highly allergic to pain. So we finally get to the location and it's behind a grocery store. And there was more niggas here than niggas at the game. Like it legit looked like the 4th Great Nigga War. And then one nigga charges and then the fight begins. And This fight was brutal. I was watching niggas get slammed, thrown, tackled. Niggas were in headlocks, jumping off cars and hitting each other. Like, this is like a scene fresh off of Tokyo Revenger. And then at a point, I realized I have to keep my distance. Why? Because I watched a nigga pick up someone and his ass on the concrete, and that nigga didn't get up. And as the fight kept going on, it looked like we were losing because the other school had this one nigga that was just knocking our guys out left and right. But I wasn't tripping because I see Dre, aka Black Gojo, starts charging at him. But that nigga must have been Saitama because he punched the shit out of Dre. Seeing the most gangster, strongest alpha nigga you know on the floor just does something to you. But it doesn't end there because they start stomping Dre out. Oh my god, this nigga's on the floor getting stomped out, just yelling. At this point, I was fearing for my life. Like, this whole thing felt so unreal. With Dre out of commission, we started losing the fight. So at that point, niggas started running away. But I've been teleported into the car because I was not finna be the next nigga to get stomped out. So the next day of school comes around and everyone that was involved in that fight looked like the victim. Everyone either had a black eye or just didn't show up to school at all. And Dre, we never saw that nigga again. Nah, I'm just playing. He had crutches and